these experiences? Thank you very much. I have one good and bad news. We need to, to consider the time. So the NICSP 6 was replaced by the NICSP 34 and 35. Previously, the NICSP 6 was about the consolidated and separate financial statements. So what they did is to have two standards separately, one for the consolidated and the other for the separate financial statements. So we're going to talk about the NICSP 34 and 35. And besides adjusting the times, according to the update of the content of the NICSP, according to the Handbook 2021, the update was made. Let us review what is the current content of the standard international accounting standard for the public sector and how they are, what they consist of. So what I'm interested in is to see where we are standing at. This is a standard that is really extensive. So last year we began with the analysis and presentation of all these standards from the conceptual framework last year. So we have Burley, CNI, CSP 1 and 2 in this order. So we will reach that to a conclusion in a 2-year time. So what is important is on the left-hand side are the ones that were affected, that were changed. On the left-hand side are the new, from the left to the right are like the new norms. So the NICSP, consolidated financial statement, from the 4 to the 38, but specifically we consider it is, the consolidated and the separate ones are the 34 and 35 respectively, and they were replaced by the block of the 34. The 6 and 7 and 8 is the block, I'm sorry, but the audio is not right. So the 15, the financial instruments was replaced, revelation and disclosure was replaced by the 30th. And then this is all the agenda that we will cover in the following days. The NICSP 34 was replaced by the 39, like the 24, 25 by the 39. So now we're talking about the updating. NICSP 28 were replaced by the previously mentioned. The ones that substituted the former ones, the NICSP 28 and 30, they were in only one, but they were separated. Then we have NIC 34, 35, 36, and 38. This is the NIC 6. Now we're going to see the separate financial statement, consolidated or separated according to each one of the standards, and we have investments in associated and joint business. And also the 38, which is the disclosure of interest in other entities. On the right side, we have it is where they are based. It is NICSP is based on NIC 1. This is to prevent us from getting lost when we will see this specifically. So we need to have this context to see where we are at. Okay, so this is all the content in NICSP. We have 42 sections, but many of them have been replaced by others. So anyway, we will see them all. It is important to mention that in the content of all the standards of the public sector, there's information for long-term sustainability for the finance of the government entity. Also, this is related to all the standard discussion and analysis of the financial statements and so on. And finally, how all the standards are structured. Well, there are 3 volumes. The first volume is the preamble, the conceptual framework that we touched on last year, the NICSP 1 to 27. The volume 2, we talk about NICSP 28 to 40, and the volume 3 is NICSP to 41 and 42, and the guidelines of recommended practice, the RPG. RPG 1, 2, and 3. Then we have the cash accounting base, which is very important in the government sector. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity of talking about the NICSP 6 that replaces 34 and 35, and not the important thing is to know the content of the standard in the public sector and the structure. How many volumes consists of. And thank you very much.